Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to talk to you today about the golf grip, the correct grip. Now, most of you are going to say, oh, I'm changing the channel, I know what the grip is. It's probably going to be very boring to you. But it is the most important thing in golf. Absolutely, no question. This is your only contact with the golf club. It makes a difference whether that club face is square or not at impact. Most important thing you'll ever learn in golf. So, and I'm going to tell you why here. I learned this from an assistant pro many years ago. You can learn things from these guys. I learned it from a guy by the name of Brian Garlington. He's now the head pro at Woodhaven Country Club. Brian taught us, when I was doing a clinic with him, he said, just let your arms hang down naturally to your sides. And when you do that, you notice your hand faces at about a 45-degree angle to your left leg. Your right hand does the same thing to the right thigh. And if you put the club, just let the hand relax, put it on there like that, then you'll notice that your left thumb is at about 2 o'clock. If this grip is a clock, it's at about 2 o'clock. Many people put it on there, and there's a reason for that. Some grips have got a little line on there, so they put it at 12 o'clock. The problem if you put it at 12 o'clock, and I've got the club head here square, if I have that thumb at 12 o'clock, and when I bring it through the face, let me take it down a little lower. When I bring it through, the club face is wide open when I have my left hand relaxed. When that hand is in that position and the face is open, the ball has no chance of going anywhere but to the right. People will push it, but most people will slice it. So it's very important to have your left hand, your left thumb at 12 o'clock. This left pointer finger the left pointer finger should be in a trigger position. That just means it's straight here. It's not bent around the club. It's in the straight position. You have the club in your fingers, not in the fat part of your hand. They're in the fingers. And we want the gap closed. We don't want you just to take your left thumb and put it over there. We want you to turn your whole club to the left. I show people put a tee in there, and if you can hold that tee, then you've got this gap closed. The reason we want that gap closed is because we don't want the club slipping throughout the golf swing. So if you have it closed, there's nowhere for it to go. So that's the left hand on the club. Keep it over at around 2 o'clock. Maybe some people might even have to put it over at 2:30. When you do that, what it's going to do, and you bring the club through, it's going to square the club face up at impact. You're not going to have to physically make your hands turn over to hit that ball straight. They're just going to naturally square the club face up. Wouldn't that be so simple to just not have to work those hands over, just to swing the club and let it come through naturally and hit straight shots? So that's the first thing. As far as the left hand goes, the right hand, God made this little groove right here in between your thumb and your pointer and your little finger. He made that little groove to put that right there over the left thumb. So your left thumb is at 12 o'clock, your right thumb slides in there, and once again, when you have that right hand on the club, you want that gap closed too. So there's no slipping around as you take the club back at the top of your swing. That club's not going to move around. When the club moves around, that's when people get blisters. That's when they come to the pro shop and say, I got this worn spot in my glove because I don't know why, but I got this worn spot, I need another glove. That's what happens when your hands move around. Now, that doesn't mean you have to grip it very tight. And if you have your left hand over there in that position, you can actually not have to grip it tight at all. Just keep it on the club. So the very first thing any golf pro should do with a beginner golfer is teach them the proper grip. I know it seems real boring, but it's the most important step to learning the golf swing. Thanks for watching our tip today.